FUTV TV, we are live late on this Thursday evening with your reaction to Manchester United getting another draw away from home in Europe. Some would say that this was an alright point. Some will look at the fact that United, again, are winless in Europe, and the teams that we've played are not that good a quality. 1 win in 11 away from home in Europe for Ten Hag. Is this the standard that we want to keep up? Where do we go from here? If this isn't a good result at weekend against West Ham, are we in the same situation we was before the last international break? Jay, we are along, Jay's along here with me. We've got to dissect yet another lead that United blew away from home. It's a continuation, Jay. It just carries on, and I don't know when we're going to see the back end of it. But first of all, mate, are you okay? Did you enjoy the game? How are you doing?
Adam, this literally is, are you a glass half full or glass half empty kind of person? Or are you, there's no glass to begin with, there's no water, there's not even a bloody table. Perception, as you pointed out there, 1 win 11, haven't won a game in Europe in a year. We've never beaten a Jose Mourinho side away from home. And tonight, if ever there was a time to get 3 points, it was tonight. The Rose Tennis Spectacles would say a great away point. The manager tonight dropped 2 points with his idiotic team selection. And let's delve into what rationale did he have behind his team selection, because I tweeted that I was going to wait till half time. I was keeping an open mind. But after 5 minutes, you knew Mazraoui thrown to the wolves, playing as a cam. And Ten Hag's excuse, his bullshit excuse, was he's seen him playing there previously. What? In a 5-a-side in Carrington? I'm not having it. This guy proved tonight that he literally is the Dutch Ted Lasso. Lindesoft, a centre-back. Your man Lindesoft. The manager tonight cost us 2 points. And that's it.
Yeah, well, you look at it there, Jake, and you're just going into the team selection now, and let's just start with it, because obviously he'll claim that Mazraoui was involved in a goal. He was, inadvertently. I don't think he should have been in the position where he was when he touched the ball, but luckily he got it to Zirkzee. Brilliant layoff from Zirkzee and a fantastic goal for Eriksen. Again, thank you very much. Highlight of the game. Brilliant. United didn't close it out, and that's a story that we'll get into in a minute. But I thought Manchester United in the second half controlled the game after Fenerbahce scored, because, Jay, what happened after Fenerbahce scored? He made substitutions which would revert the team back to how you would expect him to start the game. You had midfielders in midfield and defenders in defence. And guess what? You had an actual striker in that centre-forward position. And all of a sudden, everything looks more controlled. Fenerbahce are not picking up second balls. Fenerbahce are not finding room between the lines or getting room out wide. And all of a sudden, it looks like United are in control. So what was the idiotic, chaotic thinking in Ten Hag's team selection for that first half? Again, I'll go into it. He'll say that he won the first half, he was 1-0 up. But let's be honest, if it weren't for last-ditch tackles from Lindelof, from Ugarte, and a brilliant double save from Onana, United could have been going in at least 3-1 down in that first half for clear-cut chances. You could say that Rashford probably should have scored and done well, but really it was a typical European game in the first half for United, and he changed it in the second half, and it was in complete control, in my opinion. We just couldn't finish our dinner again, which is another problem that we've got. But in terms of actually being in that position where you are holding all the cards and you are dictating the style of play, you're dictating the pace of the play, I thought we were more than on top. And it just goes to show, like, tinkering around and messing around with these ideas that you've got ultimately has cost Manchester United in this, because where you could say, like I said, yeah, we got the goal in the first half amidst all of that, I think it's costing us in the long run, because we're going to go into the players that are not playing right now and the players that are probably losing interest in what's actually going on with this Ten Hag mission right now, because I feel like he is isolating certain players, and you can feel the discontent, Jay, right now in that squad with certain players.
Yeah, Adam, lot to unpack there. So I'll start with your last statement, the discontent of players. I said to you off air, if I'm Ahmad's agent, I'm putting a transfer request in January. In what worldview of football does Anthony come on instead of Ahmed? the player of the month way back in August, memory serves, and he's how he played since. That's on a manager. Anthony has been proven to be the fake Brazilian that many fans refer to him as. He's on for I don't know how many minutes. Thankfully, he went off. The camera shifted to Ahmed just before he came on. He's getting instructions from one of the coaches, and you could see the burning desire in his eyes. Got to come on! I'm going to do something here. And you're hoping against hope that he'll nick an assist or get a goal, but unfortunately, that wasn't to be. But team selection and players on the bench. Adam, 2 goalkeepers. You said to me off air, that's a waste. That's a waste of a person on the bench. Casemiro on the bench. The Wadio Foss Casemiro. More European experience than any player in that team. And you're playing away from home against 35,000 partisan Turkish crowd that are whistling and booing from the off. Sure, logic would take you play your most experienced player who has won Champions Leagues for fun at Real Madrid. No, he's on the bench. Your goal scorer from the weekend, Højlund, he's on the bench. Xerxes, I know he got the flick for the goal, but apart from that, I don't think he did a whole lot in the first half. First half also, Adam, I'm sure you've seen it, everybody watching, how dangerous FENERBAHCE were down the flanks. How dangerous we were down the flanks. Had it not been for Onana putting off that double save, we go in 2-1, 3-1 down. So he had to revert back to what any fan with any understanding of football tactics would start the game with, just to save his ass. And your man Lindelof, I use that word very lightly, your man, was the cause of that goal because he was too fucking lazy, pardon my French, to jump and try and clear a ball. And while Dalot left Rashford MIA out in the flank as well. So lots to unpack there. I'm actually now going to go to bed angry because we've dropped points away that game was there for the taking. FENERBAHCE, no great shakes. Everything they have was down the flanks. And when Mourinho was sent off and he brings on Deco, his last throw of the dice, FENERBAHCE didn't have much in the second half. And you said United in the second half were a better team when Casemiro came on and when Managerial went back to fullback.
Yep.
Had we started in that vein, I do believe we'd have won that game. Absolutely, yes.
100% agree, mate. 100% agree. What a pathetic display. He's dragging us through the mud. That's from member Niffen. Thanks for renewing that as well, buddy. I'll come to more chat in a minute. But Jay, on the substitutions and the bench again, like I said this all along, like putting kids on the bench that are not going to get used. They could have been playing in the youth team yesterday. This is what I don't like. I don't like it at all in terms of taking... the experience is great for them, but they could be benefiting elsewhere. It was a waste of time them even being there. I thought that one of the goalkeepers, Heaton Orbainde, had probably better odds of getting on the pitch than Ahmad. And the fact that Ahmad only got onto the pitch simply because Antony, a substitute before him, got injured and was stretchered off. It is embarrassing. Literally, yeah, we have got Ahmad in this team right now, Jay. He has created more chance than any other Manchester United player and played less than 50% of the games that have been available to him this season. He came on the pitch, he did a player, got a free kick in a dangerous position. In one instance, I was praying that free kick went in from that Ahmad bit of magic there. That would have been absolutely perfect. And the biggest middle finger bird flip that you would ever see from a player to a manager. Just to say, this is what I do. Why am I not playing? In 1 minute, Ahmad created more than Antony would ever in a full 90 minutes of football. How Antony is ahead of him, there can only be one reason why Ahmad's not playing in this team, and that something has gone on behind the scenes because he hasn't, and he wouldn't have had any minutes tonight if Antony didn't get injured. We all know that. It's pointless even trying to discuss it or hide it or defend that decision to keep Ahmad out. But that would have been the third game in a row with no minutes at all. And this manager's talking about rotation. That's why he's left Rasmus Højlund out. He's playing a right back ahead of Ahmad. He's playing Antony ahead of Ahmad in his position. I could not believe it. The fact that Eriksen wasn't even at number 10 was even bigger insult. Or Xerxes not at number 10. A bigger insult still. It just goes to show that he is living on this planet, Ten Hag, that only he understands and only he can see the promise from. I don't know what else I can say to describe what Ten Hag's thinking was in that today. We're going to get through loads of the chats in a minute as well. Quickly, Modern Samurai has just dropped 5 memberships in. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate that. They've gone to Nick, they've gone to Mark, Anton, Louise, and Trademark 23. Welcome to the members club, everybody. Please do put a big thank you in the chat there for Modern Samurai. Jay, on certain other performances, Lindelof being back there, did you have that down? I had it between Lindelof and Martinez at fault for that goal for FENERBAHCE, asleep again. But I'll say it again, Jay, you count back how many times this season United have come out in the second half and conceded in the first few minutes. It's criminal, mate.
I had Lindelof as the culprit because he couldn't be arsed to jump.
He looked like he was turned around the other way from what I seen on the replay. He looked like he wasn't even set to jump.
Which means not switched on, not engaged in the play, and also basic tenet that you teach kids: scan. Always be scanning. Where's my danger? Where's my danger? You teach that at under 12 level. What I do to my lads, I know Alfie, your son, plays. Well, I know he's a good player. He's set up with his coaches. You scan, scan, scan all the time. That's basic of football. Off the ball, you scan. So we have a professional footballer that's not scanning in a Europa League game away from home against FENERBAHCE. That is Lindelof. That is him. And I flagged him years ago on shows with you, and I flagged him off. You flagged him off, but nobody wanted to know because we were going too hard on him. Bullshit. Not good enough. We'll never be good enough. I'm blaming him tonight for that because not scanning, not being aware of what's happening around him. I'm blaming him for that goal.
Yeah, no. I mean, like I said, I think most people would agree with you on that one. The fact that he was brought off as well said a lot. But
he shouldn't have started, mate. He shouldn't be on the bloody pitch.
Yeah,
there's no reason for him to start tonight. No reason whatsoever for him to start tonight.
None at all. None at all. Jeffrey says in the chat, can anyone tell me how some fans actually feel this is acceptable right now? There will be fans that will look at that, Jane. You said at the top of the show, this is a half empty, a half full, not even pouring the water in right now to the glass for some people. They've just checked out of Ten Hag football. Modern Samurai says, I just think of that beautiful smile from Louise. I picked up on the wrong message there, but you can see people just trying to entertain themselves in the chat when I was on the watch along as well, Jay. Like, it just got to a stage where it was like, we know what's happening. It's that horrible feeling that the same thing's coming along yet again. And I don't know how he turns it around. I'm trying to find through the week, Jay, how Ten Hag can make things better. And then he just completely trips me up every single game day and goes to all new different levels of confusion. And I don't understand him. And I don't understand more, Jay. He's like, why are these coaches not having a word with him? Who is telling him that this is actually all right? Surely Rennie Hart is looking at this and going, sorry, Eric, no. Like, let's take a little rain check here on this one. We have got professionals who are used to this environment, who play in this position. Why are we trying to be clever with this right now? I mean, Jake, like Van Nistelrooy and Hart, I mean, they're going to fall. They're going to sink with this ship. Their captain is taking them down with him. And this needs to be looked at.
It's one of two things. One of the worst things in the organization, the groupthink, where we've all been at meetings or whatever, or Zoom chats where a concept is deduced, and you've got people that are like a nodding dogs all agree with the concept and don't criticize. Groupthink. So it's either groupthink or Ten Hag's dictator, and he will not listen to a contra opinion or a contra argument where you do things. Like, we've seen this before Ten Hag. Watching Ten Hag football, it's like watching a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson movie. You could almost write a script, you know the plot, and you know the ending before you even watch the movie. It's the kind of movie you watch on your phone. You know, you're on Twitter or social media, half watching the movie because you know the ending, you know the plot lines. That's Ten Hag football. You said it many times that we switch off in the second half, in the first 5 minutes, and you picture Jose at halftime is ripping those boys apart in the dressing room. You're at home fans, go out there now, second half, and get me an equalizer and do it now, do it early. Because he'll have watched United. He'll have watched what we do. And through the type, we switch off because he already goal. And Mourinho would have been on them at halftime, telling them exactly, this is what's going to happen, guys. We are going to get an early goal, and we're going to make a point. Sure enough, that is what happens, because we've seen this movie, Adam. Manchester United right now are a Dwayne The Rock Johnson movie. Predictable.
Well, I've got a couple of other stats I've dropped in here. I've just been sent over now. Manchester United have won 7 of their last 22 games in the Premier League and 1 in their last 11 games in Europe. Crazy. Wow. Ten Hag's quote has just come out right now. Here we go. Let's see what's being said. From 2 tough away games, Porto and Fenerbahce, we take 2 points. This is a result. Oh, God, Eric. Just don't go there, mate. Don't go there. Jose Mourinho, on the other hand, has just said on Manchester United, they got a point against us, not us against them. We played amazing. I think Jose would probably, in the first half, he's got a point there. For the first time since 1980-83, Manchester United have failed to win in their last 6 European games. Wow, Manchester United have not won in Europe for exactly 1 year. You said that before as well, Jay. But Andre Onana has just come out with another quote. He says, it's very disappointing for me and for the club. We are an obligation to win at Manchester United, which we didn't do. We take our responsibilities and move on. So you've got one player there, Jay, saying it's an obligation to win for Manchester United. And then his manager, he's degrading them comments by coming out and saying that 2 points away from home to Porto and Fenerbahce is a result. Like, just fuck off. Seriously, Eric. Stop talking absolute nonsense to everybody. It's an absolute joke. Oh.
So, our goalkeeper has higher standards than our manager. That's what I take from that.
Yep.
Boom.
That is exactly it. I've got a couple of super chats here that I need to read out, Jay, because one of them's going to take us into the next segment here. I'm going to keep the quotes coming in, everybody, as well as they come through. Thank you for staying with us. We have a lot to say on the show tonight. Lee Mack with a super chat. Thank you, Lee. And a few people have picked up on this. None other than me and Jay, actually, before the show started. I never lowered my standards, but now I feel like accepting it for what it is now. Playing Mazraoui at 10 was purely to protect Bruno's position. Just shows how spineless Ten Hag is. We have another super chat in from the Honest Tiger. Again, second donation of the night. Thank you, buddy. Really appreciate that. The lineup for West Ham United has come out. He's Onana in starting at number 10. Another one from Niffin. Thank you, mate. Mazraoui at number 10, question mark. You think United is a toy he can play with? This is so irritating. I hate him with a passion. Sack him even with no manager. We will do better. Jay, do you want to get into them comments there, what the people are saying?
I can't disagree. The first comment was that Honest Tiger that referenced why Eriksen didn't start at 10. We discussed it off air before we came on. He is protecting Bruno like he's a £10 million investment. And he's literally put all his life savings into this one investment, and he's hoping it comes off. And the dogs in the street were literally barking Eriksen tonight at 10. He did it. He played it for Spurs. He played it for Inter. He played it for Brentford. He's played it with Denmark all the years. He is your default 10 when Bruno isn't there. We've been asking perhaps play Xerxes at 10. But a manager plays a fullback at 10 because he's got to protect his golden goose, whatever he's captain, at all costs, to the detriment of the team, the performance, and the fan base. And that is your manager. And any fan tonight that is buoyed by a 1-1 point away to Fenerbahce after that team selection needs to go and watch another sport.
Yep, they do. A question here from You Got Rawls on the super chat as well for you, Jay. Says, when/how far back would Jay have sacked Erik ten Hag?
I've gone on record in the show many times saying I'd have done it last December when he embarrassed us and finishing last in the group in Champions League, the worst position we ever finished Champions League. Last December, I'd have put a trigger right there and then.
Yep. Erik ten Hag cannot be defended anymore. He must go. Enough is enough. I keep hearing this, and I'll keep doing my shows. And what will happen? People will come back at me again and say I'm being negative. and say I'm being over the top. Back the manager. Keep going. I'm not seeing them people in the chat tonight. So what they will do, they'll just wait it out. They'll convince themselves after a couple of days with no football that United are United and we are going to come back. It's not going to happen. It won't happen under Ten Hag. 22 games in the Premier League and 7 wins. When are you going to realise what is happening to this football team? When are you going to realise that Ten Hag is a stubborn, arrogant manager who will not change his ways, who will isolate players, who will make Manchester United gradually worse and try and convince you that you are watching decent football? The man tonight has just come out and said he's seen Mazraoui play in at number 10 sometime in his career, so he's going to play him there instead of playing one of 3 other options at number 10 in that game. He will claim victory off that first half because we went in 1-0 up with that team played. He'll forget about the 4 chances, blaring chances that last-ditch tackles and brilliant saves from Andre Onana will make. And he will ignore the pictures that are circulating all over social media about right now about one of the most talented players he's got in his squad who he will not play. And he's playing one of his failed signings. Yes, another one of his failed signings ahead of him off the bench in Ahmad. And yes, them video clips and them pictures are going viral on social media right now. Ahmad looks like a man that's checked out. And Jay, you said it at the top of the show. Like, if you were Ahmad's agent right now, you'd have just been on that phone and saying, I want to transfer in January. My career is dying right now. It is wasted at Manchester United. Absolutely wasted. I cannot believe this lad is not getting more game time. It is an absolute crime to football. And it's all down to one man. He's an absolute bluffer. He really is. I'm sick of people falling for this crap every single time. He will win games. Yes, he will win games. And he'll keep you happy. He'll keep you afloat and just trundling along nicely there in mid-table and convince you that that is all right because it's a process. And there's a plan. I'm sorry. The only people that say there's a plan is people that don't know how to win games. It's about winning football matches. And if you don't do it, the plan is null and void. I mean, Jay, I had a bit of a rant there. Sorry, mate. I just lost
Adam,
him.
He's a bluffer. He's a spoofer. He's a charlatan. Ted Lasso himself would not have played Mazraoui at 10 tonight. Not a chance.
No, he would have listened to experts along bleeding beside him.
Exactly. He'd have had Roy Kent in the dressing room, had him in a fucking chokehold and not letting him do it for the start.
Yeah.
Anyway, I digress. But you said 7 games wins in 22 in the PL, 1 in Europe. That's 8 out of 33. We have, Adam, a 23% win rate. Jose was sacked in 8th place, I think, on 54% win rate.
Yeah.
Because Woodward and Glazers backed a toxic dressing room over the manager. So now we're backing a toxic, idiotic manager and not backing the talent that I believe is in our squad. And not giving a young player like Ahmed his head, giving him the stars after being player of the month shows how incompetent and inept that man is.
A super chat here from Modern Samurai says, Adam, I'm sorry you and Jay can't just process Erik ten Hag wins trophies. Ask him. He's joking sarcastically.
I know he is. Well, listen, I'm over in 2 weeks' time for the next Europa League game, and hopefully my paths will cross with Mr. ten Hag, and I'll fucking ask him.
Yeah. God. Onana, I tell you what, Onana's stock is high right now. He's come out again and said Onana was asked. He was asked about his double save, and the words that came out of his mouth were, "It doesn't matter. The important thing is to win." Again, like honestly, right now I'm loving Onana. Like he has. I slagged him off on one show, and this man has turned a corner. I'm taking credit for Onana's form, by the way. I've absolutely slaughtered him. And he has come. I mean, he's talking like a United player at least, Jay. If anything, even if he had a poor game, at least he's got the balls to actually front up to the cameras and say that this is not acceptable. This is shit. Basically, this is Man United. the words he said at the start, Jay, I think ring true more than any, which is we have an obligation to win at Manchester United. And the man who's in charge of him is saying that we have got a good result here in getting 2 draws away from home to a average Porto side and a poor Fenerbahce side full of cast-offs from the Premier League era from yesteryear.
Look, we went very hard on Onana, and we were justified in our analysis. We dubbed him the African Taibi, and we went balls hard. Last couple of games, like tonight, for instance, I have it here. He's double save. To me, again, it's going. I have it written here, and I may be incorrect on what I saw because it's pitch second. I've said here, go into his right, then change direction and move to the left. Millisecond later, tips ball over bar. 36th minute. We flagged him off because he was slow getting down to his left or right hand post. Remember? And last season he conceded. I can't remember the stats right now. Someone in the chat might know. He was conceding goals at his near post. Game after game after game.
He was.
We also flagged that his agility was poor and that he was too stocky and too big to be a goalkeeper and was lacking agility. Well, clearly, someone in Carrington or his own personal coaches have flagged his lack of agility and his ability to get low for low shots. Because last 6-7 weeks, that has stopped. And he's making those crucial saves. And like tonight, that double save, that's not a bread and butter save. That's a hard save to make. That's a world-class save. And you're called toxic, I'm called toxic. But when a player plays well, we give them their flowers and we give them the credit they deserve. And I go back to the previous point. I said, his standards clearly are here. He gets it. His manager standards are in the fucking toilet, mate.
Yeah. Exactly that, mate. Comment here from Satinja says, no creativity, no patterns of play, no tactics, no charisma makes players worse, even ones he allegedly knows. Stubbornness with some formations and picking favourites, idiots who signed those letters. As in people who kept him on at the football club, I'm guessing there. Louise is in. Onana is very much growing on me. I have seen promise in both him and Højlund that I didn't see last season. Very true what Louise says there with Højlund as well. I completely agree with that one. Because Højlund looked sharp when he came on. He should have been playing at the start of that game for me. I really do. And yeah, it's good to notice that players have improved. Like Onana, massive credit to him, and I've always backed Rasmus Højlund. I'm worried about Xerxes right now, but Jay, this will be another test for Ten Hag right now, because you spoke off camera before we came on as well, and let's go down the positive road here, because a man that he's not been able to fit into his team in recent weeks because he doesn't know how to play him, in my opinion, it's more than likely, and he can't fit the system because the system's shit and there is none. Manuel Ugarte tonight, Jay. Take it away from Manuel, because he had a good old game, and I think he now needs to be number one in that number 6 role.
So our manager has been, quote unquote, betting him in for the last 2 months. Yet he was able to go twice international duty and play for Argentina. So Uruguay, I should say. So his tackle was instrumental in the goal. We could say that. There was 4 crucial tackles that I counted in that game. United tonight with Ugarte in that midfield looked, they had a modicum of composure, but that composure was compounded when Casemiro came on. Casemiro and Ugarte together tonight looked like they'd been playing together for years. And that's the mark of 2 top pros. That's the biggest credit I can give Ugarte. And I think I tweeted after 70 odd minutes that Ugarte was man of the match. So I'd give him man of the match tonight. He's one of the very few positives tonight that I was extrapolated was Ugarte. Now, if at the weekend Tinker manager decides to put him on the bench, which would not surprise me, because remember, Lord Bruno's back. Don't be surprised if we see Eriksen, Casemiro, and Ugarte and Casemiro the weekend. Nothing that this manager does now would surprise me after the selection tonight. Ugarte, for me, picks himself. I'm sure people in the right chat will agree or disagree. But I was very impressed, and that man should have been playing since September. But again, our manager side, it needs to be bedded in. That's again on the manager.
Biggest load of shit I've ever seen in my life. Honestly, how you can't get a player in. He's talking about bringing Ugarte into a system. He's got to learn the Manchester United way. Are the rest of the team still learning the Manchester United way? Because I'm not seeing anything at all. He's talking about adapting a player. Sorry, he's talking about a player adapting to his system and the United way. And this manager's putting right backs in at number 10. I'm fucking sorry.
System,
like,
Adam.
Seriously,
The
get
system.
a grip. What system is that? Like you've honestly, he is. The best word I heard was, I think it came from TalkSport or someone on there said, he's a walking contradiction. That's what Ten Hag is. And I thought, you know what, that is the best way to describe him right now, because he constantly goes back on himself. And do you know what? One of the most embarrassing things he said in the build-up to this game was when he was putting himself up there alongside the likes of Jose Mourinho in terms of what they've actually won. I think Jose probably listened to that and thought, who the fucking hell are you, honestly? Jose Mourinho has won 3 times the amount of trophies what Ten Hag has won. And he's won more important trophies than what Ten Hag has won. We win trophies. He's won 2 cups at Manchester United, and the rest has been Eredivisie trophies. He talks like that is the best league in the world. Honestly, honest to God, like right now, even when you look at this season, Jay, when you look at the games we've played, you're talking about all them stats a minute ago. What have we played in the league? 8 games. We've had 4 cup games. So 12 games we've played so far this season, and we've got 4 wins. It's like, when do you draw the line, Jay, I think is the question now.
So the stats here, we've got 25% win rate this season and 23% win rate out of 33 games. That's his level right now. That's his level. And he has the audacity to compare himself to a legend of the game. Now, I'm biased, so people are going to say, Jay, you're biased. Lads, it's Mourinho. It's a special one. Has won Champions Leagues, Porto, Inter, with average squads. The manager, and I use that term lightly, you said it, he's living on his own planet.
Yeah.
Planet Ten Hag that he inhabits, inhabitant one. Like, I'm actually dumbfounded the fact that he would even mention himself in the same breath as Mr. Jose Mourinho. I'm dumbfounded.
Yeah, embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed if I was him. I really would. Another super chat in from Modern Samurai Legend. Thank you, buddy. He says, Adam, Jay, it's a 5-year plan and trust the process. We just need about 4 or 5 more Ajax players and we will be good. You know what? Just to go in on the Ajax player side of things, I'm happy with Mazraoui and De Ligt, by the way. Again, tonight I thought De Ligt was solid and aggressive. I thought Mazraoui was good. I like what Ugarte is doing. So in terms of the signings, I'm looking at 3 of them right now and going, good. They're not all Ten Hag signings, we know this. Ineos have had their big input into this. We've got Euro to come in, and if he still cannot make this work, then we have serious, serious problems while this guy is still in charge of this football team. Because that, for me, says that there are progress. There are players that want to play for him right now. And if it's not working and these players are playing well, then there's only one common denominator, and that's how he's making them play, Jay.
But it goes back to the magical, mystical Ten Hag system, which has us with a 25% win rate this season, Adam. That's it, 25% win rate this season and mid-table. That's on the system.
Yeah.
So would that not indicate the system is absolutely broken? But the deluded manager lives on planet Ten Hag, thinks the system works. And there lies the problem. He believes the shit works.
William says that Ugarte and De Ligt were average tonight. Goes to show how people watch the game differently. I'm all open for that. I do like what Ugarte did in that game and how he adapted. The fouls he was giving away were a bit concerning. I thought De Ligt was aggressive. I thought he was okay. A bit slow at times, but still, I think he is good. I think he will be good for us. I'm looking forward to seeing Lenny Yoro. Xerxes is a huge concern right now. I don't know how he gets into this team. I really don't. I think he's another Mason Mount where Ten Hag won't be able to fit him in. And we're just looking at signing after signing after signing. and they're all not the right ones. They're all what we don't need right now. Obviously, we're talking about Højlund and Onana coming through and doing better this season, which is great. And obviously, they were signings last season when we thought we'd really blew it in the transfer window. But it's not so much that them players are not good and doing better now, which is fine. It's the signings that were made were the wrong types of signings. Every single signing seems to be something that we've already got. And we've just got an abundance of players in certain positions, but we're missing out on key ones in certain areas on this pitch, which are really hampering us right now. And I just don't understand from the club side as well as Ten Hag's side how we haven't rectified this in the summer. And by the way, apparently Danny Simpson, Satin just said he's slagging off the team now on MUTV as well. So that is big also. When the old channels actually got issues with it. I know they all have anyway. Behind the scenes, they are really against what is actually going on right now. By the way, the poll that is up right now, keeping up to 800 votes, is a 1-1 draw away to Fenerbahce acceptable given our current position? 72% of you have said no on that. Kind of expected that, but 38% of you are saying that that is acceptable. I seriously have to question where your standards are at. Or, hey, we've been asking that question all season, Jay.
Our standards are mid-table cup team that can turn it on in a big game maybe once or twice a season. Our fans accept scraping a win against Brentford, and some fans will accept a one draw with Fenerbahce, and guaranteed, Adam, should we scrape a 1-0 against West Ham on Sunday, all the fans that label toxic that are not in the chat tonight, they're going to be jumping in the chat live on Sunday and telling you're toxic again.
Yep.
That's where the club is, my friend. We are a mid-table cup team. And as long as the manager's in charge, that's where we'll stay. So any fan that accepts mid-table cup team, if that is your standard, fair enough. But it ain't mine, and it's not Adam Scott's standard either.
No, it's 100% not, mate. I'll say that again. Close and open live chat so it works. If you know, you know. I don't know. Sorry, what that one. Xerxes Xerxes no understand that brings in bad players to see nothing good in her. I'm not sure what that means. Again, Miss March. Ten Hag is the sort of bloke who farts in a lift and blames the person next to him. It's never his fault when he loses points. If you don't win our home games, we will struggle to qualify. In terms of the league table and where we're at right now, just to put it into perspective, Manchester United sit on 3 points. Malmo, who are... Actually, there's 3 teams who won't qualify in the position that they're in right now, which is Malmo, Braga and Besiktas. They're all on 3 points also. They're in the fallout of Europe completely part of the table. So from 25th down, you are completely out of Europe, which is 11 teams. Manchester United sit 21st on 3 points. That's how drastic it is, everybody. Just to give you some names that are above us right now. Victoria Pilsen, exactly the same points as us. We've got to play them yet, obviously. Porto are ahead of us. Fenerbahce are ahead of us. 20 are below us, and we didn't even beat them. Bodo Glimt are ahead of us as well, which is interesting. We have to play them yet. Rangers are ahead of us, everybody. Can you believe that? They won 4-0 tonight against Steaua Bucharest, and we've got to play them as well. Yeah, it just goes to show, like, what Manchester United have got coming up. We will literally crawl over the line like we have done with everything. The fact that we are 4 points away from automatic promotion in this absolute... I'm not being overly critical of this league here, but it is a dog shit league. It really is. It is pathetic how Manchester United are not further up this table. By the way, guys, Steaua Bucharest, Jay, just got smashed 4-0 by Rangers tonight, and they're 3 points ahead of us. Okay, that sums it up really there with that table, Jay.
Adam, I'm still reeling from there's a pub team in Pilsen above us. I'm just still trying to conceptualize that. And Rangers smashed Stour 4-0.
Yeah.
And we have Rangers in January at home, if I'm not mistaken.
You are correct, Jay.
And we have PAC coming in a few weeks' time, the Greek powerhouse that's PAC. Wow. So essentially, we are looking at scraping into a playoff game in late January, early February. 2 more games, because we ain't getting top 8 in this. Not a prayer we getting top 8, Adam. I don't believe for a second. We will stutter and stammer into a playoff game.
Yeah.
That's us.
Oh, but I've got a cracker. Ten Hag is at it again. Oh no, Eric. Okay, on the Ahmad situation, Ten Hag has been talking because obviously the media are picking up on what's going on right now. So the question has come out, and Ten Hag has said, Ahmad is doing well, but I also have to reward Anthony's performances in training. He is a threat in almost every training session, so I felt at that moment that he had to be brought on the pitch. Let's forget about your most creative player where it matters on the fucking pitch, Eric, and let's reward someone who is part of that winning team picture that keeps going up again on social media for Manchester United. Before you go into that, Jay, I've got a Jose one as well. Jose on his red card. The referee told me something incredible. During the game at 100 mile an hour, he had one eye on the penalty situation and one eye on the bench and on my behaviour. That's why he's one of the best referees in the world. Jose dropping bombs. I think the most serious one out of them, Jay, is obviously the Ahmad situation. Because Anthony's playing well in training, he gets ahead of Ahmad, who hasn't played for 3 straight games.
Okay, I'm going to use in-betweeners reference. Ten Hag tells more pokey pies than Jay in the in-betweeners. So Jay in the in-betweeners has been with 100 different females, but no one's ever seen it. No one's ever seen it. And he's done X, Y, and Z, and he's this big Don Juan DeMarco gigolo. No one's ever seen it, not his mates. So we're supposed to believe that Anthony is putting up threes in training, and therefore he starts tonight over a young, up-and-coming player. No, Eric, you said Anthony because he's your boy.
Yeah.
You paid, how much? 75 mil on him?
85 million euros.
85, oh, it gets worse. So you play him because you are still grasping at straws, trying to justify the 85 million that you wasted on that imposter. That's not good enough to play in the Premiership, let alone play for our club. And you are pinning your colours to that mast. That shows that how deluded you are on planet Eric Ten Hag.
Yep. God, yeah. One good thing about tonight's show is that we've got the legend Modern Samurai on complete form. He has dropped in another 5 memberships. They've gone to Michael, they've gone to Kuma, RY92, Maximilian, and John Flatman as well. Please give Modern Samurai a big thank you. I need to buy this guy a drink when he comes over to a game. A big one as well. But thank you again, Modern Samurai, you absolute legends. I'm sorry, but I hope the fans are hearing the association of Eric Ten Hag's excuses about training with Sancho's lies. Told him, get this manager out of my football club. We have lost Alanga, Palestri, Sancho, and now Ahmad will leave. All because Eric Ten Hag plays his favourites in Antony and Rashford. Ineos need to grow some balls and sack Eric Ten Hag now. Interesting when you look at it that way, Jay. You could go down deep into this as certain wingers that have just left the club because they have fallen out with Ten Hag because of the way he treats them.
Yeah, so Alanga and Palestri, I thought were supremely talented and never were given a proper chance under Solskjaer or Ten Hag. I don't give a proper chance. And for me, before I saw Ahmed this season, I thought Palestri was the best pick of those 3 before Ahmed burst on the season, played so well. I thought Palestri had it and could be developed. Sancho, on the other hand, Sancho did himself no favors. He didn't exactly grace himself to the fans with how he was unprofessional, let's just say, arriving late for training. That's well documented because he's up half night playing computer games. He hasn't exactly been putting up trees, has he? Since his transfer. So the Sancho one I'll park, but Pelestri and Alanga, absolutely yes. Just credence to that point.
Yeah, interesting comments in here as well. Modern Samurai first of all says, what do those players have in common? They are not Dutch and never played for Ajax. Afin Eriksson says, Bodo Glimt beat Porto at home and went away and beat Braga. Their players cost £100,000.
Wow.
Again, these players cannot cope with that tag, which is the Manchester United shirt. They cannot cope with being a United player, I don't think, Jay. That's what I take away from it. The pressure that comes with being a United player, I feel like you need protection, and that protection comes from the sideline, and that protection comes in the manager making it as comfortable for you to play your game as possible. When you have any doubts at all in your game, the pressure mounts even more. You self-doubt yourself, and you look at Ahmad right now. He is a deflated figure. He just, the picture there of Rennie Hark in his ear talking to him, he's not even listening. He's looking straight ahead, and he is just basically saying, stop talking to me right now. You're doing my head in. This is complete and utter bollocks. The only reason I'm getting on the pitch right now is because your superstar, 85 million flop, is injured. By the way, I hope Anthony's all right, personally, but obviously we're talking about a different conversation right now. But yeah, I can't see Ahmad surviving, Jay. I really can't.
Yeah, so like obviously we wouldn't wish injury on any player or of any level. Of course not. But Anthony should not be on the pitch to begin with. And you referenced there the look in his eyes. I read it as, screw you all, I'm going to come on and prove a point. You see the white in his eyes, and your reference there, how he's just blocking out the words. They're just empty words. I wouldn't be on the pitch if that gimp wasn't coming off. So that's actually a good take on it. But it goes back to the point that was made in the chat there. The key common denominator is these players that Ten Hag isn't given an opportunity to, didn't play and have left, as in are not ex-Ajax alumni. So does one have to be ex-Ajax alumni to be given a fair crack at whipping his team? And Bill McCarthy also referenced in his interview, was it late last month, I think, sometime October, how Ten Hag was not a motivator, did not engage. And what is the one thing a young player needs? He needs a man manager. We don't all respond to the same motivational drivers. Some players need an arm on the shoulder. Other players need eye to eye, heart to heart. Some other players need to kick up the ass. Ten Hag doesn't offer any of that. He has this belief in his system and his doctrine. Unless the players subscribe to that, he doesn't play them. And that is a very, very blinkered way of managing a group of people in business or in sport.
That's it. And with that brings up 11 o'clock, and I think it's time for us to go and try and sleep this off, Jay.
I'm too wired, man. I'm too wired.
Oh, no, I know. It's horrible, isn't it? Right. Thank you to all the donations, especially Modern Samurai, for your contributions tonight, my friend. Absolutely buzzing. Love that. Thank you very much, mate. Legend of the channel. Thank you to all the mods and members for helping out through all of the streams tonight for the game, the one before it, and obviously this one with me and Jay. Now, Jay, thank you for coming on again, my man.
Look, again, Adam, it's back to therapy post-match. And we're both now trying to sleep this off. I feel like I've had 10 coffees after watching that game.
I know, it's too much to say. There is legend, Jay. Thank you. Please do give the video a like on the way up. Make sure you have subscribed. If you want real football opinion, cutting through all of the bollocks and crap, then this is the channel for you. You want to subscribe to Forever United TV. We just say it as it is. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. All you can talk about is what is happening on the pitch, and that's what we do here on Forever United TV. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll be back at 8 o'clock tomorrow with another special live show. Make sure you're tuned in for that then. Your notifications are on, and I'll see you all then. Cheers, everybody.